basically, I've taken put my life on hold. I've been working as a builder all my life, which means I've been working outside all my life.
Yeah.
And everyone complains about the weather, but I'm very in tune with the weather because I work outside all the time.
Yeah.
Being weather dependent, I'd always be aware whether or not it might rain or whatever. So I know what the skies are looking like. I'd be keeping an eye out. Could I finish my work off before it started raining or whatever? So I would watch the sky frequently. And then I started, apart from the change in the weather, I started to notice these trails in the sky. And when I saw these trails from these planes, I realised I'd never seen trails like that before. They were something new.
I was also interested, you said you're on quite a high vantage point as well.
Yeah, I'm on the side of a hill, so I've got a good vista.
Yeah.
I look right out over hills, so I've got a really good panoramic view from where I am, so I can see the true length of these trails and the magnitude. They're so big, they're crisscrossing. They must be going, I don't know, kilometres and kilometres and kilometres, horizon to horizon. And when you see these, it's like, it was never like that before. As far as the amount of evidence we've looked into, when I say evidence, there's lots of research documents, there's lots of government documents, there's lots of evidence that people can identify with that must be real, that's credible. Because there's the visual evidence, and we've got rainwater analysis. And the content of the rainwater can only come from the atmosphere at the point of nucleation. So therefore, if you find lots of information that tell you what they might be doing, and that's quite strong evidence, and then you're more conclusive with the rainwater that confirms what you've been reading, the final one is to say, well, what's putting it in the atmosphere? They say it would be the planes in their proposed plan.
Yeah.
But we need to perhaps get the right type of equipment, the right type of plane to be able to take a conclusive, a valid aerial sample of what's coming out of the back of these planes, leaving a long trail to be confirmed. But I've looked into this on an amateur level, and I realised that a normal piston prop plane, you couldn't have a flying lesson in a Cessna and go up because they can't get the right altitude. They don't fly high enough. Yeah. So it's not like we can do this on a low budget thing, we'll chip in. We need a more sophisticated plane. Now the problem with the Lear jets and the private jets, of course they can go high enough, and perhaps because I monitor the planes sufficiently, I could chart a course for the plane to cross a likely chemtrail, because we couldn't just, you have air traffic control and you have flight paths and origin, point, destination, and it'd be very difficult to veer off that without, these days, there's a change in the way that the air traffic control is. There's a new change coming in. The military are becoming a part of the civilian aviation authority. So if you did get the jet with a grab canister fitted to it, so that's the other problem. You can get a retrofit grab canister, but it needs to be fitted to the outside of the plane because it's a pressurised jet. So you really need to get, from my point of view, being an amateur, a lay person, we need to appeal to people that have got a better knowledge, because there are planes that can do this, they can test it.
Well, maybe if you get some celebrities on board that are interested in the cause.
Yeah, to raise a profile of this.
Some of them might be able to achieve that,
I agree.
With a plane.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think part of going on our tour here is to raise awareness and perhaps get more people we're just ordinary people. We're a mishmash of people. We've come from different backgrounds, different areas of the countries, but we share a common concern that we've looked into this sufficiently that we've become convinced to take time out of our lives to be fully committed to raising awareness to this. And we see our goal is raising sufficient awareness that better qualified people with more experience, more clout, more influence can help and raise awareness and make a difference.
Going back to the plane spotting, if you imagine how many people in the room last night had an iPhone.
Yeah.
You mentioned about that app.
Yes.
To be able to track a plane or find out where the plane is supposed to be going or what it's doing.
Yeah.
Imagine if everyone had an iPhone.
Yeah.
Did
And
that
monitoring.
each time they saw a plane.
Yeah.
And just wrote it down and then gave you that information.
Oh, very well. In
You're
fact,
starting to gather so much data that you can say, look, this day there were 30 planes here that weren't taking people on holiday. They weren't taking people to another country. They were up there flying back and forth. doing something, can someone please answer what it is that they're doing?
Without a doubt, and also I've now, where I talk to people from all over the world in different groups online, they've started to use this system, and they track a plane that's spraying, and then they contact their friends in another part of the country, tell them to when that plane's coming to them to film it, and so they're tracking it in with the people on the ground. They're acting as a team, and so they're monitoring these flights. So we're starting to get people power on the ground, just using the resources that are available to actually monitor the planes. That's particularly useful in places like Australia, where the flight paths are quite clearly defined. Obviously,
Right.
in the UK, it might be a bit more complicated because there's thousands of planes crisscrossing the country. But there's no doubt about it. We have some resources that we can use, and people can connect with, and everyone can get involved, and they can show someone in real time. They can say, "See that
People
plane,"
are the
and they
key,
can.
aren't they? You know.
Everyone needs to wake up to this and participate, because no one. Clearly, we know that the government have to be complicit with this program, and they're obviously continuing with their agenda. And although I've contacted MPs and many other people who have been concerned about this issue are contacting MPs, we get stonewalled, we get polite letters back, we get excuses, but no one's really addressing it. We're not getting an opportunity to really contact them. They keep us at a distance because we share information. They must be monitoring what we're sharing amongst our groups, and they're aware that we've actually found a lot of conclusive evidence that's sufficient to convince us to do this.
And what areas do you target in the government? Department of Environment, Agriculture?
Well,